here's the puzzle. We asked parents, do you have books in your home? And the answer is yes. Rich parents have more books, but very few parents have no books.
Okay.
So it's not a matter of rate limiting, resource differences. We asked parents, do you like reading? Again, yes. Do you like reading with your kid? Yes, it's my favorite time of the day. We snuggle, it's bedtime, it's really fun. Do you think reading is important? Most parents will say yes, that they have an understanding that reading produces kids' language development. And if they go to if low income parents are in a program like Head Start, they will have heard many times that reading at home is important. Okay, so the puzzle is you have all these ingredients. And then I say, well, then why didn't you read tonight?
Okay.
Like, okay, you have all the ingredients, but it didn't come together into reading. And why do you have so many days this week where I know that you didn't read? And that gets us back to this, behavioral perspective where I said, oh, I don't know, I forgot. That's a pretty common answer. I forgot. The end of the day is not organized enough. My kid was cranky. So we said, okay, let's try to make an intervention that manages all those cognitive barriers at once. What we're going to do is we're going to give everybody a digital library that lives on a tablet so that we can equalize the resource.
Nice. Yep.
That was step one. Everybody has a tablet. What we're going to do is measure via some fancy technology on the digital library how much you used it to read with your child. And we put together this package of behavioral tools and techniques to try to boost the reading for the treatment group in the experiment. And that included, number one, asking parents to set a goal. So, how much do you want to read in the upcoming week? This fancy recording digital library was able to give feedback to the parent on how much, in fact, they did read. It's easy to forget.
Okay.
And we would tell them, well, you set this goal. This is how much you either did or didn't meet your goal. And that would be all we would tell them. Then what's your goal for the next week? So we had goal setting, we had feedback, we had basic reminder messages, which were of the flavor, don't forget that you set a goal. And then we did a little thing which was sort of like a competition among parents. So for this particular study, we recruited parents at preschool centers. And so there were multiple parents in the same school in our research study. And what we did at the end of every week is we said, at your school, parent number 102 in the study had the most reading minutes. And your digital tablet would actually light up and fireworks. And if you were parent number, whatever I said, 102, you could have this private moment of pride. And
Yep.
the idea is if you weren't, not that you would feel terrible, but that you might rather be inspired to be the winner the following week. Anyway, we put all this together in a kind of kitchen sink package. And if you were in the treatment group, you got all that. If you were in the control group, you just got the tablet. And we said, this is fun. There's lots of, 200 books on this. Read it at your, as you choose. Anyway, we ran the experiment and the treated group responded wildly. We had no idea if this was going to work. So this is now 10 years ago.
Wow.
And there was no study on behavioral economics in parenting. So we did not know if parenting was or was not going to be like saving for retirement. But it turns out that it is.
Okay. Fascinating.
With these tools, the parents who got them, doubled the amount of reading that they did in the study period.
Okay. You're in the Harris School, right?
Yeah.
And part of what you're thinking of in the Harris School are policy implications.
Right.
And it's hard not to have this and to say, we know how important reading and math scores are. We know how important it is to learn how to do these things. We know that there are interventions that actually could make a difference in people doing more of these things, possibly thereby even getting scores up. Tell me the policy implications that could be considered here or should not be considered.
Okay, so first of all, we need to be super creative about how to support parents.
Okay.
When I say test score, you probably immediately think school or curriculum or teacher.
Yes.
I want you to think parent. So that's just that. Like if everyone thought that, I would feel I had accomplished something.
Okay.
We're a long way from that. Then I think we need to just be super creative about, how would I send these package of text messages to every parent in the country? We have lots of, cutting edge technology. I know there's a way, but we'd have to cooperate with institutions that interact with parents. And that's a little trickier because what's an institution? An institution is a school, maybe it's a hospital or a medical care, environment. But kids don't go to formal schooling until they're 5. Some kids go to preschool. Only about half of kids in the US go to preschool. So if I've convinced you that parents are important, I need to be super creative about how I'm going to find those parents.
Got it.
And that I just don't have an answer for you yet.
If you were creating your PACT system today, I have no doubt that AI would be an integral part of creating that system.
Yeah.
And we're now finding that there are AI therapists, there are AI
Mhm.
coaches, there are AI partners, there are whatever the case may be. Where, if at all yet, is AI working its way into being a tool that can be part of your arsenal?
It's already there. I would say
Wow.
it's,
Okay.
yeah,
Tell me.
we are there. We just got there this year. uh, so I told you that, 10 years ago, we sent parents static text messages to, interact with a digital library that lived on a tablet. AI allows us to make that whole process dynamic and personalized. So we're working really hard on an AI powered tool right now that we call Chat to Learn.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful tool that is meant to be, you could call it a conversation coach for
Hmm.
parents and children. What it does is it sends parents conversation prompts, and they're really wonderful. It might be a prompt to say something like, "It's morning and the sun's up, ask Sam where you think the stars go to sleep at night."
Okay.
And we would prefer that a parent say that to their child than, "It's morning, what color is the sky, Sammy?" Because quite honestly, Sammy's going to learn that the sky is blue eventually.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And for a parent with limited attention and time, I would much rather that the parent had the former kind of conversation that led to these things I've been talking so much about sort of curiosity and starting a conversation about where the stars go to sleep at night. With our app, our AI powered app, parents can either say by voice or just put in the chatbot what Sammy said, and the AI powered of Chat to Learn then gives the next conversation prompt, and it helps the child and the parent keep the conversation going. It produces new questions for the parent to ask, and eventually I would hope that parents wouldn't need my tool anymore. I want them to
Yep.
work their way out of my job. But what I do want is for those who aren't in the habit of talking to their kids this way to use our Chat to Learn and harness this power of AI to just open up a world of ideas and conversation.